You hit the clock. We good. We running. We back. That's how it starts off every Tuesday like that. It starts off
talking shop,
and then we just roll right out with another exciting episode of Live from the Green Room. We back in the building.
What's happening?
Shout out our sponsor, Captain Kirk's Jamaican Rum Punch. Delicioso. Trust me. Order yours. Get yours. Shout out to Kirk. New club is up and running.
Yes, sir.
Yo, shout out to the homie Math Hoffa. My expert opinion. Text me today. We went back and forth on the text. So shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we back. Yeah,
we back.
Eventful week.
Very eventful.
I'm trending. Man. I'm hot again.
Hot again.
I'm hot on social media. Well, not hot again. I'm hot. I stay hot. It just gets a little hotter and a little cooler, but I stay hot.
Yeah,
but I'm
man.
trending.
Hey, yo,
I'm trending.
And shout out to all the podcast people who came out in Tampa. We had a few come out in Tampa.
Yo, mad people in Tampa. Like, yo, I fuck with the podcast.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like buying mad merch. Like, let me get 10 t-shirts. I fuck with the podcast. Like,
yeah, so
Tampa,
shout
Tampa
out.
owes us nothing. This one's for Tampa.
Yeah,
about to get some Live from the Green Room merch.
Tampa was real dope.
Yeah, we definitely got to get that.
Get some Live from the Green Room merch, some more. Yeah, man. A lot of slack from a lot of opinions from last episode, man, from the last clip we posted, man.
That's what we're going to start. We're going to start right there. But first, he said that there's some new information that has come out that we didn't have prior to last week.
Yes. So
in regards to the Carmelo Anthony,
Carmelo Anthony,
I'm
Austin
sorry, I don't know
Metcalf,
his name.
Austin
Metcalf, stabbing, high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. I believe it happened 2 Wednesdays ago. I believe.
Yeah. Everybody know the basic.
So that just that quick recap. So as we know, we're making comments and people were making assumptions based on very little information. So now,
as were we.
But we said that we weren't. I don't think
with the
we were
limited
reckless.
information we had, we were making comments on it.
Yeah, and based on that, of course, drama ensued on. Shout out to Trey Elliot for running.
I go toe to toe with the. I got time. I got time.
I was going back. I said, I like Trey. Got it. Trey.
During the week, you know what I mean. During certain hours, I got nothing but time.
Paragraph for paragraph.
I got nothing but time to read comments. You know, especially your wifey out of town.
Right.
2 in the morning. I got nothing but time to go toe.
My phone is on freaking. I need to keep this shit plugged up at all times.
Okay, so let's keep that theme going. So Joe Fox and I were talking in Tampa,
right?
And he was bringing it to my attention that there was several comments,
a whole lot
directed at what I said.
Right.
Now, like I told Fox, I didn't read one goddamn comment.
Nothing.
I read 0 comments, and he said, so you know what we should do this week on the podcast? We should read a few comments and let you
read
respond.
a few comments.
I said, you know what? That's a great idea.
Let's do it.
But here's the rules.
Right.
I'm not responding. Don't read me any women's comments.
Okay.
I don't want to respond to any women. Here's why.
Okay.
If you notice, you might have noticed, and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't know it was a thing, but you noticed. I noticed a lot on social media. When I used to have the time to go back and forth with somebody that said some negative shit. A woman will say some shit, right? A woman will say some crass, classless, low fucking self-esteem,
right,
degenerate bullshit to you, right?
Right.
You respond with the same firepower that she shot at you. You respond same energy.
Yeah.
You match her energy.
Right.
And you know what the next text is? Oh, that's how you talk to women? Right. So now you want to be a woman.
Yeah. Right.
Now
feminists and
it's like these chicks on social media want to talk like they got a knuckle game.
Yeah.
And when you fire back, it's see how, and then she'll try to bring other people in. This happened to me before. A girl said something, I said something back, and she didn't even respond to me, went to everybody else. Look how he's talking to a woman.
Misogynistic.
And I'm like, oh shit. So now you want those bitches that do that are more trans to me than the dudes that want to be women. Because they want to pick and choose when they're women.
Right.
At least trans women want to be women all the time. So those bitches that do that are more trans than trans women. Because she only going to say she's a woman when the heat is on.
Yeah, when the heat is on.
But when she's talking to a man, it's the same like a woman that smack a nigga in the face.
Yeah,
you ever see on social media a woman smack a nigga in the face?
Yeah.
And he hit her back and like, oh, you hit a woman?
You hit a woman.
But you was a gangster 5 seconds ago.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I'm not responding to women.
You can tell me what the women say.
Man, with these handles, there ain't no way for me to really see. But I just got a few.
A lot of them, of course, the majority of them are no image whatsoever.
Right. Yeah.
Look, majority of them are no image.
Yeah, a lot of
private pages.
There are some
because they don't even want to smoke. They act like they want to smoke, but they don't want to smoke.
And I want to say this too, y'all. You know, a lot of people didn't even understand the POV in which you were talking in that particular clip.
Of course,
you were talking from the POV as of how a juror would think, not how they would think.
Right.
No, I was speaking from 2 point of views actually. One was this is what a jurors, this is what an all-white jury in Texas is going to be thinking.
Right.
Second point of view was young black men. I know everybody want to have this I don't give a fuck attitude. I know everybody want to have this nigga better back up for me and watch out for me. I'm a terror. I'm a threat.
Right.
My point was, bro, don't get involved in the system. If you can
avoid
the system before you even before it even gets to that, you're much better off.
Right.
Having never been involved in the system is much better than them knowing you or having a record a mile long. Not that this kid did,
right.
But now that he is involved in the system, I'm looking at the before.
right.
Maybe it was like I shouldn't do these 3 or 4 steps that led to that because now I'm in the system.
Right.
And my hope and prayer is that all young black men and young black women can avoid the system at all costs because the system is geared to take black men and young black women, young minorities down and keep them there. That's the point of view I was speaking from.
Take them and keep them in the system.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And I want to say this too, and I'm saying this, with the Carmelo Anthony situation, I see a lot of black people on social media supporting him just off the fact that he's black. And I'm saying we can't necessarily, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to support him by him being black and right. Not just being black alone, like in this case.
Right. Okay.
This ain't 2 contestants on Jeopardy, a black and a white person or a boxing match.
Boxing match. If it's boxing, always go to black dude. Always go to black dude.
It's a boxing match. Or a black quarterback versus a white quarterback. Nah, this is something totally different. So he got to be black and right. We just can't like, that's not right just to support him based off of the fact that he's black.
You do know this week's hateful comments will be directed towards you.
He's got to be black and right.
But let me say, go ahead.
If we see, oh shit, it was self-defense, I'm all up for it. Because if it was him versus another black person, and he stabbed another black person, we're going to have to find out who was right and wrong in that case.
Right.
So yes, we're hoping like, yo, all right, I hope this nigga was right. Cause I'm with him. I'm with him. But yo, he got to be right too. It's just like OJ. We all was fucking with OJ off the fact that he was black. Now on hindsight,
that's different.
No. Okay, on hindsight, we can all admit that we was probably wrong. OJ killed them motherfucker, or he had something to do with killing. Back then, we ain't care. We just like, just because he black, we rocking with OJ. Because OJ was cooning. OJ was doing all kind of shit back then.
Yes.
But we didn't care because he was black. All I'm saying is, yo, I'm with him, but he got to be black and right.
Okay. Ready? Now I'm gonna get some hate this week too. Ready? OJ did that shit.
OJ did that shit. OJ did that shit.
The views of Trey, Elliot, and Tony Rock are not necessarily those of Joe Fox and Life
now, all these years later, after all the documentaries, all the evidence was towards OJ. The reason, and somebody was saying this in the comment on our clip last week. I
brought in OJ.
They brought up OJ.
Brought in the old shit.
I said, yo, well,
wait,
OJ,
what they say?
They were like, OJ got off, so the legal system does work for black people. I said, no. You got one case where OJ got off, and OJ got off for
that nigga.
We gonna read it. OJ got off for several reasons.
Got it? Okay, all right.
One of the main reasons OJ got off was because of the Rodney King situation.
Yes.
LA didn't want another riot.
Yes.
And then because of Mark Furman, Mark Furman fucked that whole case up too.
Yes.
And that's what the prosecutor, OJ team, defense team went after. They went after the fact that, Mark Furman is a racist, so we can easily say he planted this stuff. Mm-hmm. And we know LA don't want another riot. We owe the niggas something.
They focus. Listen, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
Once that defense team found that diamond in the rough, which is Mark Furman,
there's got to be more.
They didn't even focus on the murder anymore.
Nope.
They focused on him.
It was all about, he said he never said nigga.
Right.
We have him on tape saying nigga.
He's a liar.
There's several black men that he's arrested and violated their civil rights and hurt and locked up
discredited
without, just cause. We got him.
Discredited him.
If we can just create, lawyers just have to create a
reasonable doubt.
Create some doubt in your head, in your mind.
Reasonable doubt. Let me say this though.
What happened? Somebody outside? What you do?
Oh, that's Grimy out there. He's milling around out there. But
is Grimy's outside?
He's right there.
Grimy.
So you say I support him because he's black and right. I get that.
Yes,
but like we said on the
and right.
that'd be great. But my thinking is, because he's black, I personally would want to advocate for him in the best way possible, in the best way I can. I think, like I told you on the phone,
that's what I'm saying.
People,
just so you're clear, I'm saying the same exact thing.
Yes.
Me too. But my advocacy is before shit happens. You understand what I'm saying?
See, and that's what people didn't see on the tape.
It's like, I'm about to go to this party. Let me get my piece because niggas be wilding.
Wait a minute.
Let me stop this whole thing right now and put the gun down and not go.
Right.
That's all I was saying.
You bring in
my advocacy is beforehand.
True. Now that's something that 1 minute clip didn't show. But
dumb niggas ain't gonna get it. A million minute clip.
That's what I was telling Trey. What's up?
Wait, hold on.
Grimes?
Wait, pause for the cause. Grimy has on glasses. You all right?
Yeah.
You all right?
And the eyes breathe a
You
little
going
bit.
through something?
I'm more of a contact guy, but I
okay, never knew that.
contact guy.
I didn't even know you had that. Good to see you though, man.
All right. What's up, brother? Looking like Matty Rich.
Matty
Rich.
But what I'm saying is, just because I don't think it's wrong to say, and I'm specifically talking about Carmelo Anthony in this case, he is black. And because we're black, he's black, we should advocate for him the best way he can. Now, if he is wrong, then we should give him every bit of support so that he's not railroaded by a system that wants to take him off the street anyway. But I don't think a lot of people are articulating it like that. They want to say, I don't want to just say I'm in his corner because he's black. Well, you kind of should, because you look stupid just letting your brother out there, and even if he's wrong, you ain't gonna help the situation. And that's somebody with no power. That's somebody with no power, and they ain't got shit else to say. But I'll just say this one other thing. Okay. Like that lady who was the judge that got his bail reduced. That's a new fact in the case. Now he's bonded out, house arrest, ankle bracelet, but at least he's not in jail until the court case happens. So she's a black woman. Yes. Now, what if she had that attitude? I'm not gonna just do this just because he's black. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna do anything at all, and I'm not gonna be associated with that because it's gonna look like I'm advocating for somebody who's guilty.
No, I mean, well, she did the right thing, apparently, based off of whatever past things that was related to similar cases, and they got lower bonds, or whatever the case.
She's keeping it.
Whatever the case. But I know she just didn't do it because he was black.
No, you're right. She did it in terms of like
she did that.
Other cases that were similar.
With their precedent.
Yeah, right. She didn't
do
it just
this guy,
black.
similar situation.
We don't know her state of mind. She's used. She can see. Now I'm just saying this. She can see as a black person, another black person, that ain't right. And that because he's black, he's in this predicament. Let me step in and intervene and see what I can do, because that's the right thing to do. I'm saying because she's black, she should do that anyway. She should do that anyway. What judge would say that? Hey, the judge bond was set, $1 million. I ain't gonna do shit about that.
They do that every day.
Exactly.
Why? The judge doing that shit right now as we speak.
Exactly. And I'm saying because you're black, you in a position of power that you can intervene to advocate for your people. It doesn't matter if he's right or wrong right now. He hasn't been convicted. He's in a point of the system where he's being railroaded.
Okay, I get what you.
That's all I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
But like I just said, judges do that all the
judges
time.
do that all the time.
Yeah, and that's like what you're speaking to more so is a system.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
systematic. Yeah.
Yes.
Like change the whole system.
Yes.
Which is that would be great. That would be great. But
Mhm.
again, back to what I said.
Mhm.
I was speaking on from 2 points of views.
True.
One of them being the system is designed
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And we
to
know
have
that.
negative outcomes for us.
Yes.
And people giving heat to the judge, and I'm going to say this to the people giving heat to the judge. If you giving heat to this judge, you have to give the same heat. And you know what I mean? In May of 2024, when the Texas governor Greg Abbott pardoned Daniel Perry for shooting and killing and murdering a person at a Black Lives Matter rally, and he pardoned that person.
Wow.
He pardoned that person, and I don't see, and I don't see nobody talking about that. So if you're gonna be mad, so all I've ever been saying is be fair across the board.
Right.
Everybody, if you're gonna have smoke for this judge, have smoke for your governor that pardoned somebody that murdered somebody at a Black Lives Rally Matter. Have that same smoke for that person that you're gonna have for this judge. Just be fair across the board. If you don't have beef with Zimmerman or Rittenhouse, then you shouldn't have beef with Kyle in the sense.
Kyle?
I mean, I'm sorry, with
Karmelo.
with Karmelo. You shouldn't have beef with him. So you got to be fair across the board. And see, that's my issue I have with a lot of non-Black people. They're not fair across the board. But then my issue that I have with us is that we start to sound like them sometimes. Like don't be like, well, good for him, good for that. Like, let's just see what happens, man. Like, we're not made to have that animosity like that.
Right.
That's not us. That's not our
Wait,
character.
people were saying good for Karmelo? Or good for the kid?
Good for the kid that got killed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, I get the trauma we have. I get that it's been so much shit done to us. But then too, I'm just like, yo, like we don't want to see that either. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't want to see people praising that the kid got killed before we see what really happened. Now, if we see the video and they jumping him and beating his ass, and then you like, all right, well, hey, I don't got nothing to say about that.
Is there an active video?
No.
They haven't been released. If they are any,
which
they
comes
haven't
to my
released.
next point of view. Why? Anything else you see is a video.
Here's
my man. What's the name? The one who killed the Black dude on the subway station.
The guy that choked out the Black dude.
The guy that choked out the Black video. And
didn't he have a beer with Trump or something like that? Wait, wasn't that the kid that got?
He was a Marine or something.
Choked the black guy on the
choked
subway.
the black guy out. Got off.
And then he had a beer with
yeah.
I think he had a beer with Trump.
Mind you.
Yeah, they hailed him as a hero.
Mind you, y'all hailed this guy as a hero. That's what I'm saying. Y'all not being fair. He's a hero, right? This guy on the subway didn't have no weapon. He was just saying, I'm going to kill all you motherfuckers. If you ever been on the subway in New York, everybody say that's an everyday thing. You're going to have at least 100 plus crazy motherfuckers on the train in New York saying they going to kill somebody. And we all know they just talking.
You know what's crazy? That's the least crazy motherfucker on the
That's
street.
the least crazy.
That guy, you reading your paper like, oh, you gonna kill everybody? Okay,
Yeah, okay. And you just
I'm waiting for that
about
nigga
it.
to come through with the machete with fucking blood on his face. That's the motherfucker
That's
I'm
the
running
person
from.
or the white man that's just sitting there.
Yeah.
That's just gonna pull out his gun and start
Start
shooting
blasting,
everybody.
yeah.
The person who's talking like that, and we always say, we know they know who to act crazy around.
Yeah.
But you choke
right.
him out and say he was a threat. All I'm saying
And
is
from
if
behind.
you got smoke for all this Karmelo situation, you gotta have smoke for everybody else too.
Nah, they're not gonna do that because they don't see the world through reality. They see it through their white privileged eyes. And
he's saying black people, saying people in general.
Well, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about those
gotta to be fair across the board, because if it was two black kids, like I said, somebody gotta be the fault person. Somebody gotta be, he was wrong, he was right. But because it's black versus white,
it means something different.
We all like, I don't care about the facts. I'm with Karmelo. And I'm like, I get it, but we gotta wait to see what the information.
Well, here's another thing about that. When I saw a lot of comments, you don't even have all the facts yet. First of all, we are never going to have all the facts ever. Ever. But
look,
we're
go,
not,
go,
though.
go,
We're not
go,
going to
go,
have
go,
all the
go.
facts. Point being that we all getting it from the same place for the most part, from social media and the media. That's the
it.
only time it's already been processed, homogenized, and propagandized for you to consume. The actual facts of the case, you have to be involved in the investigation, involved in the court proceedings, a lawyer, attorney. You have to have access to actual information that we're just never going to have at this point in time. Okay, so we're gonna just comment. We can say whatever we want to. Don't tell us that we can't talk on a subject that's hot in the news. We can say whatever we want to say.
But here's my point. You ready? I don't need to have all the facts.
Thank you. We
In
don't have
order
to
to
have all the
your
facts.
I don't
POV
need
that
to
you
have
have.
all the facts to say, hey, black men, young black women.
Right.
Let's avoid the system before we get involved. I don't need the facts.
You
And
don't need the
history
facts.
shows that you can say who gonna go to jail, who
Bruh.
you think gonna go. That's history.
need all the facts to say that.
Everybody can form an opinion based on history, the facts of the case, with little facts that we have. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and everybody is entitled to mine. And if you don't like it, I don't care. But don't
Okay, so
tell
let's
us
read
not
the
to say
comments.
nothing.
Just to bring you up to date, we were talking about this weekend in Tampa. He was saying that last week's episode got mad traction, mad comments directed at me, a lot of anger, ire directed at me.
Ire.
I told Fox I read 0 comments. I didn't read 1 comment. He's like,
I'm on a comment committee.
he said he's just in the window like ga. So I said,
Get everybody
so
off the wall.
Fox said, yo, you know what we should do? We should read a comment on the show next week. I said, bet. The rule is I don't want to respond to women because women, once you they'll come at you out left field. Once you say something back with the same energy,
No,
then
you-
it's why you talk to a woman like that?
You're-
They're gonna
you're
choose to be a woman at
Male
that time.
chauvinist.
Yeah.
Rule number 2, anybody with any type of reference towards my child, we're not giving their life any acknowledgement whatsoever.
I don't think I've seen none of that.
I'm just saying.
Oh, you know, I'm
because I will find them and gut them.
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay, and here we are, ready.
We reading the comments.
from last week.
Let's go.
Here's a first.
And I get to respond. We're not just
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
Okay, go.
And if they adjust to me, I'm gonna respond
Okay,
to
go.
it. Let's go.
This is what I see. All right. Tony sounding like he got tossed a couple dollars to spew out that narrative.
From who?
Okay. All right. So
No, say the name. Say the name.
no, don't acknowledge these motherfuckers. Don't acknowledge it.
There ain't no name. It's some cryptic
okay.
shit.
Okay.
Ain't
Okay,
nobody
so
gonna pick
wait,
that up.
Okay, so now before I respond, I gotta give a speech. Remind me I have to respond to that. Okay. We were talking before. I think it was you.
Uh-huh.
One of y'all said it
Mhm.
and said it's so relevant to this last week's episode and this week's episode.
Mm.
One of y'all said social media is like school.
Me.
You said
It's small. It's a lot of niggas on the small bus.
social media. I think it was
It's
okay. So
niggas-
social media is like
that's a
school.
big- yeah.
Remember, let's just take high school for example.
Yeah.
In high school,
Mm-hmm.
it was the cool kids over here.
Mm-hmm.
It was the goth kids over there.
Right.
It was the
Science club.
science club, the nerd,
Athletes.
Mhm.
the athletes,
Mm-hmm.
the niggas that was on the school small bus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I'm pointing at you, but
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nigga, I
And
wrote
they
it
all
once.
kept to themselves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So years later, you might come across somebody like, "Yo, didn't we go to high school together?" Yeah, I was. No, I was like, you
Yeah.
might look different. Like, I was a nerd group. Oh yeah, you was,
Right.
you was a basketball player, so we didn't travel in the same circles.
Right.
But social media, everybody on the same bus,
Right.
right?
Right.
Everybody's on the same bus.
The same short bus.
That page, that Instagram clip, everybody from every one of those groups is in the comments.
In the
Right,
comments,
right.
yes.
So now to respond to that statement, that dude clearly, if this was high school, was on the small bus.
Right.
Or that woman, that person was,
Whoever.
because like I got paid to say that young black people should be cognizant of the fact that the system is geared to take them down. I got paid to say that.
Right.
If I was paid, I would take it the other way, right? If I'm getting paid, I would be like, wouldn't the payment be like, yo, get your people in? Most people that take money are directing their people negatively, right?
Mhm.
Right.
How would I get paid to give them
Some
positive
positive.
feedback?
Right. Yeah. It's
So
like-
that dude's clearly on the
obviously,
spectrum.
Yeah. He said clearly on the spectrum. Yeah, people that have
See, that's a person that just wanted to put a
yeah,
comment.
you again, you know, you have no you're not making a good argument
Yeah, I got paid
against
to
what
say
he said.
that you shouldn't go if you think you're going into an environment that's like,
Or
Yeah.
who you think gonna go to jail if
Yeah.
something happens.
I got
Right.
paid to say, the system is rigged towards us. That's something I got paid to say. Your dumbass don't know that? Clearly, this is small bus we talking to.
Small bus dude.
He came in at 8 and left at 11:45.
Right.
He came late and left early.
We went to lunch, he went home.
Right.
He went to lunch late.
This is, okay, go. Comment number 2, go.
Damn.
But thank you for your comment.
Yes.
And here's another one. There was other things. Here's another thing about that group of high school. There were kids in high school that read on a 6th grade level.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So keep in mind, some of these comments are people that are,
no comprehensive skills.
Right.
So let's see. Right. You can pull some up, Fox.
It don't cost nothing to say what you want online.
Right.
I think that's the thing, that it's free to say whatever the fuck comes to your mind. If it costs you to share your opinion, niggas wouldn't talk as much on there. They wouldn't say as much ridiculous shit.
But the majority, if you click, they're gonna all have private pages. They're all gonna have maybe less than 20 followers.
Yeah, I mean, that one kind of stuck out to me. You got paid to do that. Like,
I saw one that was pretty strong. I guess if you're not letting women say it. Was
so somebody just said wrong and loud. Apparently, we've all been to law school. Now I clap back and say
I'm wrong and loud. Okay.
Yeah, so I clap back and say, what does law school have to do with an opinion of how a jury would see a young black male?
Yeah.
Stabbing a young
now let me may I respond to that?
Yes.
Apparently, we all went to law school. I thought, son, let me just say something. When I'm talking, I am talking to people, I believe that I'm talking to people that are like-minded. I realize that is not the case.
Right.
I'm talking to dumber people. I'm talking to broker people. I'm talking to people that aren't as well-traveled, aren't as worldly. A lot of times I am talking to people that are like-minded. Apparently, we all went to law school. What did I say? Because I said the system is rigged? Yeah. Everybody don't know that?
Right.
Everybody don't know that? Wait, does everybody not know that?
I mean, there's some people who they don't think you should be able to speak unless you went to law school on certain things. So you shouldn't say things like
that person sitting next to the other guy on the bus. Go ahead, give me a good one.
Short.
If we're gonna do it, give me something good.
He's responding with emotions instead of logic. You cannot assault the kid, then decide how he responds, knife or not. These kids bullied, harassed, in the 6 feet in the ground, assaulted this young man. And someone warns you not to touch them and then proceeds to touch them without their consent, you have then committed a crime of assault. This young man defended himself as he saw fit from 2 bullies.
Responding with emotion and not logic.
Tony is?
That's what he said. Yeah.
So
there was no lot. Okay, so there's no logic in saying initially, let's try to circumnavigate this situation. That
sounds logical to me.
Isn't that logical? Right?
I think there was somebody that I read one of the comments that kind of sounded like the idea of they were pushing back on you can't go somewhere if you think you got to do something. Meaning, like, why can't I go anywhere and protect myself if I wanted to anyway? Like, they were trying to say that black people shouldn't be afraid to go anywhere in America.
Yeah, no, listen.
That was the one I was reading.
I get that.
Okay.
Because niggas are married into this whole, I wish a motherfucker would.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also think that logic is what has a lot of black people behind bars right now. I wish a motherfucker would tell me what to do. Bruh, they hoping you respond like that. Yes, in a perfect world, we should be able to go wherever we want to do, wherever we want to go.
That's not a perfect world.
Ain't a perfect world.
Right.
Shout out to...
It's all based on, let me just say this. Well, all of these comments are going to come back to the same thing I'm saying.
Yeah.
My point of view was the system as a whole
Yeah.
is waiting for young black men and women or young minorities that don't have any that have never been involved in the system whatsoever. They waiting for you to come into the system. So now they got you. Right? And then when you're a repeat offender, now you're out of a job, hard to get a job, hard to do this, hard to do that. And then what else is your last resort? Crime, drugs.
Finding crime.
Now you like, fuck.
In the system now.
Now they're going like this. Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
System.
Now, in a comment full of dumb motherfuckers, there are a few who understands and get it. So I'm going to shout out Arona Kodu, who says, you guys lack serious comprehensive skills. Tony is simply saying how it looks in the eyes of the law. He's speaking out on how it's going to be perceived in court. Knowing you're a black kid, why put yourself in this predicament? Why go if you need a knife? It's harsh, but we have to understand we don't have the luxury to walk like everyone else. Ding, 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 ding.
Yo,
ding.
That's a like-minded person right there.
That's a
Reasonable?
like-minded person. That's the person that was in the lunchroom at the table with me while I was telling jokes. But listen,
right.
Do we not remember that a young black kid was walking home with a bag of Skittles in his hoodie,
Right,
and had his hood on and got killed because the hood was deemed so fucking intimidating that this guy said, "I got to fight for my life," and that guy walked.
That guy walked.
That guy walked. Do we not remember that? I'm saying, look at what the system did in that sense.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, I know. Of course, I know it is. Yeah. Look what the system did in that regard.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
The system don't play fair.
It ain't gonna play fair. Thank you to whoever saying that.
Aaron.
Arona
Kodu. I think.
Arona Kodu. Shout out, baby girl.
For the record, I'm not going anywhere.
Shout out, baby girl.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere where I would need to think I should bring my protection with me to go to this event. There's no. I'm just not going. But that's just like if I gotta consider violence, then I don't want to be.
And let me get this straight. Like I said, we don't have all the facts. Was he running in the track meet?
That's unknown, and it's somewhat irrelevant, but it's unknown. While he was there, he was rightfully there to attend. His school was his school.
I get that. One of my homegirls called me Sunday and was like, "Yo, nigga, I'm seeing all the comments." I said, "Yo, don't tell me no comments. We're gonna talk about it Tuesday."
Yeah.
But she was like, "You right about not going to the track meet with a knife, but if he's at rival schools, whatever." I was like, "Wait, was he running?" And we didn't know. So.
I don't know if he was an actual track star or a track athlete as well as a football athlete. I don't know.
And then people keep saying it wasn't at a track meet. It wasn't at a school. It don't
freaking matter.
Whatever. I'm like, yo, that don't matter. It really don't matter where it was at. You know what I mean?
They're trying to create a scenario where he's trespassing and he had a knife and he shouldn't have been there. He should have stayed in his place when two white boys tell you to do something and you should do it. You shouldn't stab him and they go right to the stabbing. There's no videos. No one's talking about that knife. No, there's no pictures of it. There's no talk of it other than he had one.
Which is what leads me to believe that there's something that they don't want us to know.
They don't want us to know yet because they don't have control of the situation. They probably haven't done all the full investigation. Like I said, it's an ongoing investigation. There's some information that we're never going to be able to get at this time to be able to even talk about it. So we got the news and we got whatever propaganda that's going to be available to us to shape our minds and make us think whatever they want to think.
Okay, last thing I'm saying, because we could do this all day.
Yeah.
You just said they haven't released all the information yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't you think? No, I'm not asking y'all what y'all think because it'll be like, nigga, you the. I think that when you're up against a system that can choose when and where and if they even ever give you all the information,
right?
That's some shit you don't want to go up against. That can pretty much dictate the narrative,
right?
That's some shit you don't want to go up against.
Yeah.
So back to my original point, if you can avoid it to even begin with, I think you should do so.
You
because
do
once
your best.
if they got all the info and they go, let them know that, but don't let them know this. Let them know this, but don't let them know that.
You talking about to the public? Or you talking about
the public?
Okay,
the public.
Yeah. Well, the public.
If you have that power, if you have that power, that's some shit I want to avoid.
Yeah, the media, anything that you see in media, especially regarding cases like this, can be used as propaganda to shape your perception of this guy and this guy, who's innocent, who's guilty. It's like the court of public opinion. Yeah. So the DA or whoever it is
they
in Collin County,
character in the court of public
so they're like,
first.
we want to try this court in Collin County. That's where Frisco, the Frisco,
How
Texas
far
is.
did you go?
Well, when I lived in the DFW area, Frisco is one of those new towns. In the last 15, 20 years, it is what it is now. But it was a growing city, and it wasn't that far. It wasn't that far at all. Up the toll road, up from the Addison Improv, man, we can get to Frisco easy. It's close. So So you want to shape the minds of the public that are there with these news clippings, and then try the case there. So now,
because they're the jurors.
They're the jurors. So is he even going to get a jury?
Do you see what I'm talking about? You see
so it's already happening.
The weaving of what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
They're the jurors. They give them this information, but hold that out. Give them this information, but hold that out. Then bring him in. Bring him in.
He's 17. Is he actually going to get that? What's the closest thing that he can actually get to a jury of his peers? People under 21. I don't know if the youngest juror that you had, the minimum age for jury selection. So
18.
If it's 18, they need to get
probably 21, man.
I think they need to get a jury of his peers.
Find that out.
Juror at 18?
I think you're adult at 18.
Juror at what age?
I've had kids in my jury selection.
Kids, what
they look like kids. They're like, all right, I'm still.
They need to be a
school.
jury of his kids, of his peers. You know, three black women, 3 black men, 3 non-black women, 3 non-black men. That would be a jury of his peers, in my opinion. But
now, how likely is that to happen?
It depends on who's doing the jury selection. I mean, there's all sorts of tricks.
Prosecution and defense they do get to choose their jurors.
There's a jury selection,
jurors.
and they can do it.
But I don't think
how
you'll get
likely
6.
do you think that is to happen? 3 black men, 3 black women? How likely you think that's to happen?
The prosecution probably would dismiss those jurors.
Well, they have to have a jury select the legal maneuvers and tricks.
Yeah,
we're not privy to that. We're not. We don't. That's not something that we know.
No, we privy to it because we've seen juries before.
Okay, I'm talking about the process, the jury selection process, to where they can actually achieve that is unlikely. I don't have any faith or any confidence in that. Yeah, they're doing legal maneuvers. This person looks like they're gonna rule in my favor. They have to agree, but there's a whole strenuous process.
Part of BLM, I want him removed. Like they just keep removing jurors to get the people they want. There's a whole strategy involved behind it. It helps sway your vote. And if you got impressionable people, or if you got leaders in the jury selection, you want to choose like a firefighter. Put him in there. Put that firefighter.
But you could have somebody that can advocate that process, knowing, all right, look, we're not going to let whoever that his lawyer is, his attorney is. I'm pretty sure he's sensitive to that.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. He's a lawyer. Of course.
It's a whole job dedicated to that.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. That's what he does. He don't want to lose. Shoot.
Of course he's
you know that.
All right.
Anyway.
So let's move on past that, because I want to bring up something. But, that's that. If you got any comments, hey, feel free.
I'm glad he's out of jail.
I'm on the roof with the sniper.
I'm glad he's out of jail. I'm glad he's not sitting in a cell when he doesn't need to be.
Me too.
And I pray that everything turns out.
Protection on his family.
That bond was too high for someone without a past criminal history.
Right, not a flight risk.
So which was another reason why they should have had the bond reduced. So let's see what happens. We're in the corner. You know what I mean? We just want to hopefully when the facts and the evidence come out, my man is found not guilty. Mm-hmm. Trust me, it's a harsh situation regardless.
Yes, I want to see that knife.
It's a harsh thing regardless. People think when you kill somebody, I've never killed nobody before, but I got motherfuckers in my I know killers, and they all told me when you kill somebody, that shit haunts you, that shit bothers you. You lose sleep, you're not comfortable, and some people who are about that life continue to kill to numb that feeling. So they don't, you know what I mean, to make that feeling become normal. Those are your killers. You know what I mean? Like your niggas, your goons. You know what I mean? But somebody like Karmelo, I just hope that it doesn't shape his mental. We just want the best. And I'm saying that if he was in the right.
I think
he was in the right.
I think even if he's but just based on what the reported statements that he made, it seems like he's remorseful and aware that what he did was not a good thing, and that's not something that he meant for it to happen. But again, man, I want to see that knife. I want the knife, nigga. I want to see that shit.
Well, as the only person on the panel whose brother is a repeated murderer. And even he,
really,
out of jail, would sit with us and say, "This ain't it." You don't want
Right.
to live like this.
Mhm.
You don't want to be the guy that has the record and everywhere you go, you can't get the job. And everywhere you go, oh shit, look what it says here. And, you get in trouble. And the cops are just driving past looking at you like, come on, nigga, come on back.
Yeah.
We waiting for you, motherfucker.
Right.
You don't want to live like that. So if you can avoid that beforehand, do so. That's all I'm saying.
Now, on a lighter note,
Go.
I was on social media when I was taking a break from the comments. Right? And Devo Media. Devo Media.
Shout out to Devo.
Oh, we shouting them out too. Shit. You better shout us.
Posted
shout us out, nigga.
Mount Rushmore of
comics
of diss tracks, of rappers in diss tracks. Posted
wait. Mount Rushmore of diss tracks?
Of diss tracks, but the artists with their diss tracks. So not even with their diss track. He posted 4 artists
Go.
Of the Mount Rushmore based off of diss tracks.
Wait. I think this is you and I don't know if they as well versed in hip hop.
Well, I mean, I know some of them, but I mean, what is it?
Brian may be able to talk on some of it. You know what I mean? Because
I mean, what is it?
Nelly dissed Chingy back in 2006.
So he got Pac.
Mm-hmm. Hit him up.
Hit him up.
Hit him up with the
give me his four first.
Okay, he got Pac, 50, Kendrick, and Nas.
That's crazy.
So it's hit him up, Wangster.
I would assume Wakes because I don't know with which particular one with 50.
Yeah,
because he's had several.
They Ain't Like Us and Ether. I said that list is trash. See, Devo Media is a person?
I guess, or media. Yeah, I didn't even really.
He can't be as old as we are.
Right.
That right there says he's not as old as we are.
So I said, okay, we got to keep Nas on there. Ether, we all know Ether was one of the hottest diss tracks of all time. So I said, this is what I said. Keep Nas, Ether. Take Kendrick off. They Not Like Us have not stood this test of time yet. You just can't put that as in one of the greatest diss tracks, in my opinion, of all time, because it has not stood the test of time yet. Now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, if we still talking about They Not Like Us, then maybe. This is in my opinion. So replace Kendrick with Cube. No Vaseline.
No Vaseline, him and Eazy-E.
All right. Still keeping it West Coast.
Okay, so wait. We are all in agreement that No Vaseline is on the Mount Rushmore of diss tracks.
I agree with that.
I think it should be on there.
No, I said we all in agreement. That's not even debatable.
Right.
That's on.
Oh yeah.
That's on the list.
That has to be. That's okay.
That's on the list.
No particular order, but that one has to be on there.
That got to be on there.
Left a group, got dissed by them first,
and then
tore the whole fucking building down.
Yes. Right.
Cube be on there.
Cube, yes.
I'm taking 50 off.
Easily.
And replacing him with Jay for the takeover.
Okay, you got Nas, 50.
No, I got Nas, Cube, Jay.
Okay, go.
And then I said I'll keep Pac on there, just off the strength of how hard he came with Hit 'Em Up. It wasn't no innuendos. We knew exactly who he had beef with. Yeah. Fuck Biggie Small. Fuck Junior Mafia. You claim to be a player, but I fucked how hard he came. And the passion behind what he was saying, even though after the first verse, we were just like, okay. But we got to, so I said, we'll keep Pac on there.
I didn't know there was a second verse.
Exactly. So we'll keep Pac on there. So I went Pac, Jay, Cube, Nas.
Okay.
What do we have?
Okay. When you said it, the first one that popped in my head was Cube, No Vaseline. That has to be up there. Mm-hmm. I'm not picking Pac. Never in my lifetime, ever will I acknowledge that song. I don't want to hear that shit in the club. Right. I don't want to hear a nigga drive past me in the car playing that shit. So that's why I'm going to let it stay up there.
Okay.
Because it was such a monstrous diss track that my Brooklyn loyalty can't let me.
I don't even like the song.
Look, my Brooklyn loyalty cannot let me be like, that's how impactful it was.
That's how impactful it was.
That's how impactful it was.
That's why I did the same
It was East Coast, West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
It was like their fucking flag coming into war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, unfortunately.
That's what I said.
I think
I don't like both this is being in your Rushmore. I feel like if Ether was better, you
Ether
can't have
is
Jay's on there.
Yo, somebody said that.
Personally, that's how I feel
really?
about it.
I said
Why-
you
why is
can't.
Why not?
Because if you choose a winner from that matchup,
You saying that one was better?
yeah,
But
like
he
But
was-
look, if
but
that
he
if that
did
one was
not.
better
But
than
they're
this
both on
one,
it.
this one could still be better than every other diss
Yeah,
track.
I agree,
because
but if
Nas beat Jay, but Jay still murdered Mobb Deep. He still murdered Project. He still hit
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people in
It
Takeover.
wasn't just about Nas.
It wasn't just about Nas.
Okay, I'm gonna go Cube, Jay. No particular order.
Okay.
So Pac has got to be on there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sorry Brooklyn.
LL.
And I'm gonna go LL. But
Cannabis.
LL had
The joint going at cannabis.
he had the one going against Cannabis when he really fucking took his head off, and then he had To the Break of Dawn when he dissed Ice-T, Hammer, and Kool Moe Dee in one song.
Forgot about that one. What was that?
Yep.
What was that one?
To the Break of Dawn.
To the break of dawn.
Mm-hmm.
How
So
dare
you
you
gonna
stand
put
beside
LL
me?
on there.
I'm cool. I freeze ICE on your tail, and I'm gonna cut that ponytail. You're disobedient with the wrong ingredients. Woo.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear a real ill paragraph soon. I took the album straight home to the bathroom because remember his girl. I see his girl on the cover of the
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
I took the album straight home to the bathroom.
Damn.
In the immortal words of LL, hard as hell. Your broad wears it well.
Yeah.
Ooh. You couldn't
LL.
couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Wait, what'd he say? You know the LL's back in town and all you wanna be sheriffs is getting shot down. Give me a lighter. Woof. Now you're cut loose from that Jerry Curl juice.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
You got
To the break of
you
dawn,
got to
LL.
say LL because
LL.
LL was like one of the pioneers. You know what I mean of dissing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we could go as far back as MC Shane and
Yeah.
KRS-One.
KRS-One. Wait.
KRS-One, the bridge is over.
Honorable mention.
Oh, yeah,
Honorable
yeah.
mention.
Yeah,
KRS-One, the bridge is over.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
What are these two
Yeah.
niggas talking about?
That's a good one. That's a good argument.
Yeah.
That's a good argument.
Yeah.
We can keep that going. Yo, leave us comments. Tell us what your this song Mount Rushmore is as well.
Yeah.
And debate us on our shit.
Debate.
I'm a hip hop head. We can do this all day.
Yeah.
What's another good one?
I would take off Jay-Z and I would swap it with. I personally, at the time I heard it, I loved Eazy-E's this and the music video that went with it.
Eazy-E joint went hard.
Real motherfucking G's.
yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We got to do Snoop and Dre.
Oh yeah, Dre Day.
Dre Day.
But Drake Date only makes Easy Pay.
Yeah,
love
there's so
it.
many, man.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
many.
So many.
I enjoyed that.
And then there's diss
That was all
songs that
West
we don't
Coast
even know
shit.
was
Yeah.
diss songs. Like you hear them later. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
know
be like,
this
oh
is
shit,
him.
he was coming at him.
Yeah.
All right, so can we all agree that They Not Like Us should not be on there yet?
I agree.
Yeah, that didn't
I
that didn't
agree,
move the needle
'cause-
for me.
And I
That-
feel like I didn't. I
think that
think
was
the
a-
beat was more important than the. I mean,
But
like
you know what? No, it ain't like because
the song.
it really wasn't for me. For me, a diss song, I gotta be like, ooh,
Yeah.
god damn, you heard me say.
Right.
It wasn't really no lines in it that was like, yo, they not a minor.
Right.
Okay,
And
get it.
it's
But I'm talking about
commercially
like
friendly.
real murder,
Yeah.
death, kill shit.
And I was trolling when I said this, but I stand by my troll. I said it's not an effective diss track if white people like it and they start trending, and it becomes a trend with non-black people on social media.
If you can
That
perform at
mean
a Super Bowl,
that mean
it's
it
not a
didn't do
diss
its
track.
job.
But I mean, that was
That's
like
a good
all
one.
encompassing.
A diss-
That was like
you
a
are
diss track
1,000%
against
correct.
America.
A diss track white people supposed to be scared
A
of.
jingle.
Like,
That's a-
It kind of got to
a
stay
diss
underground,
jingle, diss
and
jingle.
only we really fuck with it.
Yeah.
You right. Yo, you so right.
yeah, man.
Sorry, Kendrick.
Sorry, white people. I just got to
Oh,
say,
the weather
Mark is a
outside is
hip-hop
rightful.
head. He does not want to be.
You
Kendrick.
got old
excluded.
50-year-old white people. They not like us. I'm
Yeah.
like, this ain't. Come on.
It was an SNL skit. No,
yeah,
can't
it
be.
cannot be a diss track if it was
Too
an SNL
popular,
skit,
too popular.
man.
That's good.
I like Cameron's more than that.
So that's that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, next topic. We shifting topics. We
Yeah,
moving on.
We can shift.
Okay.
Okay, so every Tuesday, Joe Fox and I are in here talking about the episode we about to tape and what he saw on social media, what I saw on social media, what I read today, what I popped up on the news or came across my timeline. And we're gonna try to give some clarity to our thoughts on this.
Mhm.
We're not gonna end the debate tonight.
No,
we already know the debate will not be ended tonight.
It is endless.
It is endless. It will go on and on and on,
Right.
infinitely.
Mhm.
But first we want to start with the 50-50 debate in relationships. Married man, is that a concept that you guys have in your relationship? 50-50?
I'm not married, but in our relationship,
send it to the hoes. I'm not married. Hey hoes, I'm not married.
All the white women. That's
all right, guys.
Married man, nigga, that's all you heard. Married man, is there 50-50 in relationship? I'm not married.
First of all,
that's fine.
You and your girl.
Do
Do you subscribe to the notion? Is there some type of underlying theme to your relationship that is like could be considered a 50-50 thing? Has there been a conversation? What's that thing?
I would say that for the majority of our relationship, 50-50 was an understanding with just general things like rent straight down the middle, 50-50. Grocery account, like just put money in there. This is the exact amount every 2 weeks, so we both replenish it the same way. Kids stuff, like if you buy all the shoes, I'll buy all the shirts, or you get all this, I'll get all that. We've always kind of just said this or that, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like dating and stuff, I always like probably pay for everything. Like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that.
No, is it in relationships?
Relationships, 50-50.
No, I'm just about his first. His first.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to ask a group question as well.
Yeah, so within a relationship, everything I thought was 50-50 except for like, kind of like the dates. Most of the dates was like, I got the dates and all that kind of stuff. Now, if it was a trip or something.
Because you're courting her.
Right. Yeah. And so if it's like, oh, I want to take you to this restaurant, or because she won't think of it, or she won't like choose a place, or she might say a place, like, all right, let's go. And I'm, I'm cover the tab at the end, but like, there's not really things that we say, all right, split that. Like, it's a big trip, like, if we take the family to Mexico. Mm-hmm. It's like, the family trip to Mexico is $4,000. Like, okay, well, $2,000. Mm-hmm. Take the family to Mexico. Like, if it's something like that, we just kind of just get that out of the way. But for the most part, I would say 50-50, unless it's like some gentleman crap. Then it's gentleman does it.
Okay.
Well, you all know I've been doing
married men, not married.
Not married. Yet. Everybody know I got the bit that I've been doing with the 50-50. Here's the thing. I don't subscribe to 50-50. I don't subscribe to any number. Like, I feel like when you're in a relationship, it's just like, yo, how I do it, we just do what works for us. Like, sometimes, we'll split the bills, the rent, the mortgage. Sorry, mortgage, y'all. Sometimes we split the mortgage. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes, you know what I mean? I'll cover more than what she covers. Sometimes she'll cover more than what I cover. It just all depends, man. Like where we at. Like recently, she took a pay cut when she went back to her gig. So then that means, okay, you take the pay cut, then now I have to contribute more to make sure that our household is situated. Because at the end of the day, it's our household. Right. You know what I'm saying? So she pay for all her cars. I pay for my cars. You know what I mean? But like, we don't subscribe to the 50-50. You know what I mean? We both take care of the major bills together. And then, in the food, groceries, she'd be like, yo, I'm going to the grocery store. She'll pay for the groceries. If I say, yo, I'm going to the grocery store, I'm paying for the groceries. We go to the grocery store the same amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Or was she out of town and I go to the grocery store? I'm not calling her and being like, y'all bought groceries that came out to $200. No. She pay for the groceries whenever she go. I pay for the groceries when I go. Or whoever in the front of the line, you know what I mean? When we go grocery shopping, if I'm putting the groceries on the conveyor belt and she happen to be in front of the line, she'll pay for the groceries. And if it's an issue, I'm like, yo, I'll shoot you the bread for that. It's nothing that we subscribe to particularly. We just do what we need to do to keep our household running the way it needs to run.
Okay, so the question that we said was going to ask when we started was, what does, because everybody's like, if I got to do this and I ain't doing it, we ran through like 10 clips earlier today. Everybody was opinion on this, opinion on that. I'm not doing this. So I said, Fox, it really boils down to what 50-50 means to you.
Right.
So what does 50-50 mean to you?
And it's not financially. We got to get out there saying financially.
So I guess in that regard, 50-50 to me means that we're just equally taking up responsibilities, costs, expectations, planning, everything is done so that no person feels like they're putting more into it than the other. That's kind of how I view 50-50, not necessarily a dollar amount or percentage of assets. It's more about you feel like you're in this and there's another side that's equally matching your force. So to me, if my girl would feel like, well, I feel like I'm doing more and now the 50-50 doesn't feel fair anymore, it feels like I'm giving more, but I'm not receiving back whatever that is. It might not necessarily be money. It could be love, affection, attention, being grateful for whatever I just did to make it 60-40. Because right now, I can tell you right now, we're in a definite, my girl's definitely doing a 70, 30, 80s. I'm not sure what the number is. It's high as shit stuff. And I had to realize, like, oh man, well, this is where she's at on some of these things. I gotta jump back over. And she will not give a shit what the 70-30 is as long as I'm doing my 70-30 back to make her feel special enough that she's doing it. And so those are things that I had to like realize.
You got a great point. And what you said, it's not about finances.
What did I say?
It's like, yo, I cook. I do all the cooking in the house. I cook breakfast, I cook lunch, and I cook dinner. And I cook snacks in between.
You said snacks.
I do all the cooking. So
snacks. I made you some cheese.
Right.
Snickers.
So she does the laundry.
Some homemade Oreos.
Homemade Oreos.
I made
You know what the fuck I mean.
some grapes.
It's a big ass Twinkie.
What you make this?
I make snacks in between. You know what I mean?
No, listen.
Y'all better learn how to make snacks.
We said that, and I said, we said, what does 50-50 mean to you? I said to Fox, that's funny, it's a big ass Twinkie. Hey, the yeast just kept getting bigger. I said 50-50 means, to me, 50-50 means to me, you and I are a team. Right? We are working together cohesively when it comes to everything about this household.
Exactly.
So 50-50 would be, it's not, like you said, it's not a number amount. The mortgage is, here's the bill for the mortgage. Oh, here's whatever, here's $1,000. All right, I got 15. Boom. I said to Fox, it's about equally putting forth the effort in everything that keeps this relationship going. The affection, the conversation, the fun, the shit that ain't fun, and then the lifestyle stuff, the mortgage, the lights, the bills, the cash, whatever, the cars, all that stuff. And 50-50, most importantly, means to me, doing equal, right? We a team, it's the world against us. But never keeping score as to who's up more and who's down more. Because the day you say, I did this 2 times, you ain't do it. Now you keeping score.
Right.
So this ain't 50-50. Because now you're looking at like, when's he gonna do it? I did it. And that's when the crack happens in the wall.
Right.
You know what I'm
gonna start adding that to my bit too.
That's the crack in the wall right there. That's the leak in the dam.
The leak.
I did it 4 times, you ain't pay. Oh shit. It sprung a leak.
Right.
It's blindly committing to, I'm gonna do my part and you're gonna do your part, and we're never gonna question each other on it, because things are gonna get done and we'll be enjoying our life so much that we won't have time to say, yo, you paid the cable the last 2 times and I bought groceries one time. Like,
and I had to check myself. I literally had to check myself with that. Everybody know I don't like putting together furniture. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Especially when you order it, it got 300 pieces, all these screws. It really takes up a lot of your time, physically and mentally. And my woman would order all this shit, and I would have to put it together. And it's a dresser drawer right now that's still been in there for 5 years. She had 4 dresser drawers, and this is where that bit came from. 4. I put together 3. 2 of them came out raggedy. After 5 years, I just fixed it yesterday because we cleaning out the garage. Because the garage, we finally getting the garage organized after 5 years. And she was like, I'll just pay somebody to put this last dresser drawer together. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. But then I thought about it. I said, Trey, why do that? Just take 2 hours out of the time and put it together. And then I had to realize, you know what? She does such an amazing job of keeping that house decorated beautifully. I'm talking exotic shit, tables, just people walking out. Oh my God, this shit. Yeah. And that's all her. Nigga, I ain't no interior decorator, no designer. That's all her. And she put her time and effort to make sure that our place looks good. Why the hell am I doing my 50-50 of, or starting out and putting them goddamn dresser drawers together? So it's even coming to
or if you really don't like putting furniture together, I'll pay somebody to do it. It ain't gotta be like, let's pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this thing. My man, take care of it.
But you gotta realize too, the thing about women.
Because getting it done is important to the woman.
Is important, but you're absolutely right. But that's 75% accurate. That other 15%, they want to see you
handle it.
They want to see you do it.
25%.
They want to see.
I know I was off.
I
said it too fast.
Where that 10 at? That's a nigga.
I knew I was off with the math, but I said I'm going to keep talking.
It sounded like he knew to that other 15%. Boy, let me tell you. I'm like, nigga, that's 90.
I know what the fuck I mean. I had another 5% that I was going to say something. But yeah, part of them want to see you.
They want to see you do it. Take advantage, take control.
They took the effort of doing their part. So they want to really see you on your hands and knees, Paul's really trying to put.
But they want to see you put. Women want to see you put forth the effort in everything.
They want to see you put forth everything, man.
So what I said was 50-50 for me. It means about whatever your relationship status is, marriage or dating, is that you're trying to maintain whatever that quality of life. Both of you are making a meaningful contribution to maintain that, whatever that means. I think that covers whatever is required. Specifically for marriage, since I've been married, it's like, all right, 50-50 for me just means maintaining balance, because there's going to be those. I think you said that, like, whatever I can't do, you can do. It's like you have each other's back, and like, okay, when I'm low, you're high. When and we're both not high. We're both. Someone's going to be lower than the other, and we're compensating, and we're trying to maintain a balance, a quality of life. And what we see online is a vague description of 50-50 means I'm not going half on the bills, and they go right to the bills.
They go right to money.
They go right to money, or they try to make some kind of false equivalence of, since I'm paying all the bills, and I'm doing something that's just as weighty as that because I'm doing all of this, or I'm taking care of the kids. And I'm not saying that that's not you shouldn't be doing that, but there's always some kind of false equivalency. There's no financial worth that you can just equate to raising the kids.
Yeah, women, let me tell you this right now. Let's put a stop to that narrative right now, because I changed just as many Pampers, if not more, than my son's mother. It was washed just as many of dishes, cooked as many of meals. Let's stop that narrative that, I got to take care of the kids, I got to cook, I got to clean the house. Nah, it's 2025. Men are doing that too.
Wait, one girl said we watched earlier said men have to pay 100% because they want 100% of the respect.
False equivalence.
Right? And then she said, if I got to pay 50%, then you don't get 100% respect. I said, well, if he's paying 100%, you paying 0%, bitch. So do you get 0 respect?
You don't get no respect.
You don't get
no
respect.
Yeah, so I said, by your own statement is flawed. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And like, speaking for me, like just for me,
right.
Nigga, my last 30 relationships, I got way more than you, shorty.
Right.
I got, like, if we go on just money, I have way more money than you.
Right.
So that's why I was like, in my own estimation, like, well, 50-50 can't be money because she can't compete.
Yeah.
Right.
But if she's, like I said, I'll pay all the whatever, it was a mortgage at the time, but I'll pay all the rent. But if she's holding the house down, that's equal to me.
Okay.
I'll pay all the bills, but if she's, doing this, that's equal to me. Because I can't make it go, who's spending equally? Because 90% of the time, that other 5%, they're not equally yoked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no way to keep score. Like, who does that? No one has a relationship accountant.
Right.
Okay, you did this, or you have some kind of assignment or something. No one does that.
I had a chick that did that. It was like, I did this 2 times, you did. I was like, I don't even want
point keeping ass chick.
You have to find, and I also think there's a difference when it comes to the 50-50, whether you're married or in a relationship or dating. It's all different.
That's an expectation thing, isn't it?
It's all different. I feel like when you're married or in a serious relationship, your 50-50s, whatever they may be, might differ from if you're just dating that person. But it's about finding what your superpower is and contributing 100% of your superpower, and that person is contributing 100% of their superpower. When I had my ex that was the multimillionaire, I couldn't compete with money with her.
Right.
And I didn't try to compete with money with her.
But them cheeses was slapping.
but that lunch,
cheeses round the clock.
Snack game was just off the chain.
But at the end of the day, I had access. She had money, I had access. I got, I could get the reservation to the restaurant. I know this person. I could get us here. We could have a ball there. Like I had the access to the lifestyle that she wanted or liked. She just had the money. Now, mind you, it made me look that much better to pull up to the event in her G-Wagon or in her Rolls Royce, and I got the black card. Hey, give me a black card. Let me buy it. It looked good doing it. So she made me look just as good for what she had, and I made her look just as good. You know what I mean? Because she's not, hey, I'm not really around these kind of people.
Right.
I'm able to flaunt my stuff and show them. So it worked out. But I never tried to compete with her money. I worked 2 jobs when we was together. You know what I mean? But it wasn't trying to compete. It was just because I'm going to hold my own. I'm not. I know what you might be used to, but nah, I'm still gonna do what I do. Like, I'm not gonna change my lifestyle or do some dumb shit just because I'm with you.
Right.
Nah, I still got my bills to pay. I still got my own shit to do. You know what I mean? So
I think women break down how the value of a man is in like 2 categories, but it's primarily one, which is a sense of security, right? As long as they feel that from you, that gives them confidence moving forward. And the security could be either physical, like I got me a big old strong man, or it can be like he got a big old strong bank account, right? But one of those 2 things happens.
Bank account,
right? One of those 2 things happens.
It sounded like some Brokeback Mountain for a second.
strong.
Hey, yo. Pause. But if you got that, I think a woman's more likely to be like, okay, I feel good about the situation. And they start losing track of all that percentage shit because they see something is visible to them, it's tangible. They can touch it and go, this is real, this money is real, this size is real, whatever it is they think is like a value to them, it just stays. And I think that when it's not there visibly or apparent, they will start accounting and going, I mean, yeah, he's not all that. Or he don't make a lot of money, but I mean, he's a good listener, right? They start telling when you start explaining to their girls, he's working on himself. He's got a new business, and like you find them trying to validate the reason they chose you when it's not apparent.
I think that's a natural thing,
and it's natural, right? Because they got to make it make sense to them in the long term. Like, I chose a person who's supposed to be the provider. If you want to think like ancient times, like a provider, a hunter gatherer, and like if they don't see that there, they got to go, why did I choose this person? Like they have to make it make sense, which I think is a problem for a lot of successful women, is that they have the hunter-gatherer mode in them, and they're trying to figure out what this guy's about to bring to them as value. And they sometimes will overlook a good partner because they don't see their version of a big guy or a big wallet.
I think that's a very good point. And I think because of that and social media, that vision of how they're evaluating a potential mate or a partner or whatever is somewhat skewed because they see all this unrealistic things and notions and narratives on social media, and they think they should have that too, or they start to form an opinion on someone who could be good for them, but because they want something that they see online, it's like you cancel this person out.
Yeah. Social media is like, it's almost like social media turns into like more voices in their head, more people in their ear. So usually it was just a girl, like you just said, girl. I mean, she's trying to explain to her girlfriends why she chose this person, make it valid. Like, okay, maybe he's not the biggest dude or the biggest bank account, but that was just her and her 3 or 4 girlfriends. Now social media is 4 million girlfriends in her ear with pictures saying this is what we doing, this is how we living, and she's looking at that like, yo.
But if she's rich, she can live that same. If the woman got the money, she can do whatever she wants to do.
Well, that's the challenge with the successful women, though, is that they end up having a harder time finding a real partner because they keep searching for the wrong things because they've already knocked out that one big checkboard that most women are accustomed to looking for, which is the security and the peace of mind. Then they're out there like, what do I want now?
But see, that's the thing. A lot of women, what people got to understand, a successful woman and women with a lot of money, we already know she don't need the money.
Right.
She don't need the financial security.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just about, but at the end of the day, she's still a woman.
Yeah,
look, I was hoping. I was hoping. You said there's one thing they got to understand, and I was like, I hope you don't make my point. My point, chicks is chicks.
Chicks are chicks.
They still are
billionaire, fucking trillionaire, thousandaire, fucking McDonald's drive-through window.
I don't think they're
chicks is chicks.
I don't think they're unattainable. I think the problem is that you'll see a lot of them have problems dating. That's the problem I think is noticeable.
But
is
I'm
that
gonna tell you this. I think a lot of it are the men too. The men start getting a sense of insecurity.
Oh, because where's my big wallet or my...
A lot of times the men might start fucking up. You know what I mean? Because they like, and the men don't know how to maintain and deal with a woman of that level.
I dated a chick one time. I was like doing her thing. And I was going at her. I was going hard. Like, every time I said, hey, come on, man, you playing like for real? Like, come on, man. Like, come on, it's me. You know what I'm saying? This is Mac Daddy. And she said, "You're not intimidated by me?" And I was like, Why should I be? And she really thought that was a real thing. Like, she was caked up. Like, "You're not intimidated by me?" Chicks is chicks. You a girl, right? I'm a boy that likes girls. Right. You're a girl. To me, you a girl.
You still got all the hoes?
I'm looking at your bank account. I'm looking at your call. You a girl.
I'm looking at you.
You a girl. And I'm a boy that likes girls.
Yeah, so what's good?
I know that's not too popular these days, but what's up?
I think we've been socialized. Men are socialized in a certain way, and women are socialized. Like, if whatever you have, you are socialized into thinking what you should be entitled to based on what you have. Like a successful woman having trouble dating because of why? They can't find somebody that make the bread that they make. Therefore, Some
people blame them and say their standards are too high. I don't think that's really the case. I think that's just the fact that their pairings are like, they're just
not necessarily.
The balance isn't there for them mentally, and they're missing things because of that.
Here's my thing. I never subscribe, and this is me personally, and I hear it a lot, to a woman being out of your league.
Oh no, that's
no.
Okay, now what does
that?
What does that even mean?
To that,
never.
And I'm going to give you some pointers, fellas, on how on a woman being out of your league is bullshit. Because all it is you have to have access to where these women are, or where they at. If you want a successful woman, they're never out of your league. Because I guarantee you, if you go to a happy hour at Craig's or go somewhere to to Malibu, whatever, and spend $50 or $60 at the bar, you're gonna end up having a conversation with somebody, and you're gonna realize, oh shit, we just had a whole conversation. We're at the same place. We're you know what I mean? We're eating at the same establishment. It's so easy.
Hotel bars. Go to a luxury hotel bar and just go there for happy hour, whatever you want to go there for. 2 nights a week, I guarantee you will find somebody to be like, I can't believe I stumbled across this motherfucker.
It ain't even about location. It's just that mentality. Like, just don't think
be
like
willing to approach.
Yeah, like, it's a girl. I'm a boy. I like girl. I've never been on like, she pulled up. She pulled up in the joint, and she got the joint on the show.
She's better than me.
I don't wear pocketbooks. I don't care. I don't wear purses. I don't care.
But you know what?
Yeah,
it's an LA thing, because
I think that's an everywhere thing.
Tell you, well, because let me say why I say that, and I could be wrong.
Okay.
Because in New York, but I've seen more of the successful people out here, more so entertainment wise or certain things. I haven't really experienced so many successful women on the East Coast, you know what I mean? Because I've been out here for a certain amount of time. But it's just like this. You see a lot of fellas try to stunt and always want, you know what I mean, and try to live up to the hype of what they think that woman's gonna want when they don't have it. And when my ex, I had my Honda, and I was like, yo, I pulled up in my Honda. Like, yo, what's good? And she got in the Honda. And I was just like, bet. You know what I mean? My girl now, beautiful cars. First date, I was like, yo, I kind of like her. I got a little whatever, but I was like, fuck it. Pulled up in a Honda. No, I said, yo, meet me where you at. She said, no, you gonna come pick me up. I said, the Honda ain't clean. But fuck it.
Now you gotta get a detail.
Said, fuck it. It ain't clean.
You had to clean it up. You gotta run it through.
Picked her up in the Honda.
The Honda ain't clean.
It's the confidence, man. And everybody know my favorite movie of all times. I've said this from the first and second podcast. My game when I learned my game in high school. I'm molding my game after Martin Lawrence's character in Thin Line. From high school. So even though he got thrown out the window, I still molded my game after that. I would buy the Lalit, you know what I mean? The Crystal Baby Bird, set a motherfucker back like a big dog. But that's how I molded my game, man. Forever.
When Martin said, when a dude came over, I said, you got all that shit?
I was trying to think about that. Like, what was my earliest influence of... Like what I used to duplicate when I tried to approach girls.
Oh, your earliest influence?
Yeah, like was it a movie? Was it a question? A character?
What was your earliest influence of your game? Who?
Let me think about that.
What movie? What book? What?
Huh?
Think about that.
That's a good one. I mean, I thought How to Be a Player was pretty significant to me. I thought that was crazy. I was like, you can do that? Like, I thought that was crazy. But no, interested. That's an interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
With a little bit of Marcus Graham, but more so the game Martin had
Boomerang?
in Thin Line, because Martin was funny and made the chicks laugh, and I'm silly, and that's how I always been. So
mine was my oldest brother, Shabazz.
Really,
to this day, bro. I know it's my brother, so I'm biased.
Yeah,
I've never seen a man that cool before in my life.
Wow,
this motherfucker. I'm talking about before the shit went left.
Yeah.
Like had a job. I forgot. Like a textile company, right? Had his name on the door.
Damn.
We would go up there. He would bring us all his little brothers up to work with him, and he would had the thing on his desk like, "Hey, Stacy, can you come in?"
Oh yeah.
And the girl would
call
come
the
in,
secretary, the assistant,
and he would say, "Go get all my brothers. Go get 5 Big Macs. Go 5 Happy Meals." And she would come back with the Happy Meals, and we would eat in his office. Like this motherfucker was amazing, bro.
Damn.
On the weekends. This is now keep in mind my oldest he was like 20 years old when I was born. So he was a grown man in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm 8, he's 28, right?
Yeah.
But on the weekends, he would still pull up to the house, ride his bike, had his little Speedo thing on the bike, like the professional shit, ride his bike. Everybody get their bikes, take us to the gas station, make sure we got air on our tires, had the whistle. Listen, when I whistle, one long whistle, keep going through the light. If I go bip, 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 that means stop. 5 of us following him, ride around Brooklyn, New York, go to Prospect Park, go through, sit, have lunch, get hot dogs from the hot dog man, sit outside, chill, talk. Like, and that motherfucker used to bag chicks. I'm talking, we riding our bikes. The most famous story, I think I told you this before. We riding through Starrett City one time. Starrett City at the time was a new housing development. They just built in Brooklyn. Super clean, brand new.
Right.
Guards, security guards, and little buggies riding around. It was super. Everybody wanted to live in Starrett City.
Right.
So we used to ride our bikes around there because it was super clean, everything paved perfectly. And one day we ride past the basketball court and there's chicks jogging and whatnot. We stopped and he puts the kicks down on his bike and is like, "Yo, watch the bike." He's like, "You see her over here?" I'm like, "Oh, she's," and I'm a kid. I'm like, "She bad. Oh my gosh, she's so fun."
Yeah.
Grown woman though. He walk over, start talking to her. And we always had this signal. If he had like a Latiga on or like an Izod, his signal to us that I got her was he would flip his collar up. So if we watching from like across the street, once we saw him flip his collar, that was him telling us, "I got her."
I'd be like,
we on our bikes like, "Oh, he's still talking. Wait, he flipped his collar." So one night, one day we riding through Starrett City. He gets on the bike, goes to talk to some chick. I'm watching, pops his collar. I'm like, "Got her." We ride back home, shower up, get ready for dinner. My mother's like, everybody downstairs at dinner. My mother was like, no TV at dinner. Maybe a radio sometimes, but she wanted us to have that family quality time conversation. You know what I'm saying? And we sitting there eating dinner, all of the boys. This is before Andy was born. All the boys. And the doorbell rings. And Shabazz like, "I got it, Ma." And he gets up and goes to the door and comes back in. And it's the girl that he bagged that day.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, this is my brother." Introducing everybody. He's like, "Oh, you met Tone earlier." And she's like, "Hey, cutie." Like, I was a kid. "Hey, cutie." And she sat down with us and had dinner, her and all the brothers.
Wow.
And they ate. we all ate, and he was like, yo, got up, and everybody put their plate in the sink. Yo, who washing dishes? Yo, who on dishes tonight? Yo, take care of them dishes. And like, yo, we out. And she, bye, cutie, see you later. And just dipped off. And I'm like, yo, this nigga's the greatest. He's the greatest man.
Yeah.
Worked out crazy, played ball crazy. He used to play ball, he used to box, and he used to work out. And growing up, I was like, I got to play ball, I got to box, and I got to work out. He was my hero. I never seen a dude. But when you just said Marcus Graham, I'm like, I could see seeing that movie and being like, yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So I say those two, like 85% Shabazz, 15%
Marcus Graham. Okay.
Definitely, I identified with the Eddie Murphy movies, pulling chicks, Boomerang, Harlem Nights. I mean, more of the dress up type of thing to be presentable to a woman. I mean, when I was in college, man, we used to have trench coats, shirt and ties. We did that, or at least I did. My older brother did that. So I was like, why are you always doing that, man? Ladies like it. I had my jeans West Code Zero shit on. I did that all the time. It worked for me.
His brother, tell me what you want.
Honorable mention, Michael Jackson. Because I used to watch all his music videos, and all I saw was him pursue a girl the entire song. And I was like, okay. He was chasing baddies. It wasn't like he was. They was fine in the video.
Hey!
That's okay.
Was so fine. I was like, when I go to California, I'm gonna meet her.
Yo,
you gotta chase him apparently. I know you gotta chase him apparently.
It was one of my favorite Michael Jackson videos because Naomi
Campbell. Oh yeah.
She was looking so good.
Which one?
Keep It in the Closet.
Keep It in the Closet.
Oh.
Something
look at him.
Look at him.
I don't think I know that one.
Yeah, you remember that?
I thought we were the biggest Michael Jackson fans. That's why I'm like,
and the wife be the one in the ponytail.
That's one of the sexiest Michael Jackson songs.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, I'm still Moonwalker. I'm thinking about all them.
That should knock right down. You throw that shit on right down the club.
Yeah,
like, yo.
That was like one of the only songs that he was using his real voice on when he's talking low and shit. Yeah, he wasn't using no falsetto with Naomi.
That's so funny, yo. That we just like. That wasn't part of the show. Like you talk about that, but like the inspiration behind your cool, like because you gotta see it. Like just like your inspiration for beauty is your mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your mother's the first woman you think is beautiful, so that's your inspiration for beauty. Your inspiration for cool was interesting to hear. Like you know,
now a real person, like a person, like how you went with your brother. I'm gonna have to say, I give two people. The first person was when I was growing up, a dude named Nim. AKA Lyrics. He's a rapper. Shout out to Lyrics. He's actually Pam from Total, the dark skin one. You know, we all grew up together. It's her brother.
Okay.
And Nim was one of those cool dudes on the block in the hood. Played ball, so he walking in, you know what I mean, in the hood with the basketball. You know what I'm saying?
It's also your activities.
Yeah,
you be a cool dude, but your activities make you a little bit even cooler.
You know, nigga walking through the, you know what I mean, doing this between the legs and he was just a cool dude. So one day, and actually I told this story on this album for an intro. He's like, oh, Trey, I need you. I said, I got this funny story. So one day I'm walking to the crib. I'm probably about 8, 9. I got my socks rolled all the way up. The socks had the stripes. Got them rolled all the way up to my knees. I'm walking. I think I'm cool. I'm walking. Walk to the crib. And them stopped me. Them said, yo. So, you know, and when you young, you
cool dude talking to you.
You
like,
happy. Like, oh, shoot. I'm like,
big homie.
Now imagine the cool dude being your brother.
Right.
The neighborhood cool dude. The other dudes in the neighborhood like, yo, don't fuck with Shabazz, yo. And I'm like, that's my brother.
That's my brother.
Yeah. He said, yo. I said, oh, man, hey, what's up? He said, roll your socks down. I said, huh? He said, yo, roll your socks down. Yo, we don't wear them like that no more. We don't rock them like that. That's not cool. Gotta roll your socks down. That's how you rock them. And I was like, okay.
Thanks, Mean Joe.
and I rolled my socks down. And I went walking to wherever I had to walk to, you know what I'm saying? Maybe went to go hump somebody, you know what I mean? Because I was back in the hood when you played house.
That was funny. You said, look, that was funny. He was like, I rolled my socks down, walking out. Some mother said, bro, roll your goddamn socks up. Like, Mom, you don't know we cool now.
Do that. But so Nim, so off the rip, he taught me my first thing of, yo, that's how you gonna be cool with your socks.
Yeah.
And then this dude named Mike Jones. And look, I was in the 11th grade, dude named Mike Jones. He was from Jersey, and he just had
everybody. Look, everybody watching is gonna who?
Yeah,
who?
He had a swag about him. And, you know, and I was just peeping and I was like, yo, this nigga, I'm already cool at this point, but he just had an overly swag about him or overly confidence about him that I was like, yo, this nigga mad cocky, but I like it. And we was mad cool. And I was like, I want to take a little bit of that. I want to take a little bit of Mike Jones' cockiness and add it to me. And that's how I
Yo, you know who else like honorable mention? I gotta give not even honorable mention. Like I gotta get this motherfucker a percentage. Run from Run DMC.
Okay.
Because I was in high school, son. I used to literally be on some like, yo, leather blazer, like shell toes. Like I remember one time, and this is so corny now, but in the moment, one of my boys like, yo, there's 2 chicks we liked in school. He's like, I'm gonna set it up for after school. You know, we gonna meet them over here, whatever. I got this one, you got that one. Bet. He set it up. He waiting for me. I'm getting my books and everything coming out. Meet them. I walk out the school, hit the door. I go, funky fresh in the flesh. And they're like, what? And when the girls start smiling, I'm like, I got that from Run. I got that from Run. Yeah. Run from Run DC was a cool motherfucker back then.
Yeah,
my dad,
not Run's House Run.
Not Run's House Run.
I think I gotta give my dad a little bit of credit too, because I was growing up and women would just always go, where your daddy at? And I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm like, huh? And my daddy used to park because I could move so much. We moved to a new neighborhood. And my dad was like, daddy on the way. And he'll pull up. And he always had a different car. Like he had so many cars. And that was like one of his things, like he was a mechanic. And so he'd get cars, get rid of cars. And I was like, okay, gotta get cars and get rid of cars. Show that you don't attach to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I always take notes on that. But one day he got out of the car, and I always wearing a mechanic jumpsuit. Always. I don't know if he had any other clothes besides that. Yeah. Got out of the car. He had to be all of about 55. Walk up the steps to our house, see me, see his other kids, go, what's up? How y'all doing? 2 girls on the other side of the 4-family flat, and just walk through the door. My daddy closed the door, and the 2 girls go, how old is he? I'm like, what? How old is that man that just walked in? I said, my daddy? Like, yeah. How old is he? They had to be like 20, 22. And I was like, y'all thought he was cool?
Swag.
Yeah,
I never forgot that day, bro.
What we said last week? Can't buy it.
Can't buy it.
You just
can't buy it. Can't wear it. Can't spray it on.
I was blown, but I said, he just walked in real cool, slow. Subtly acknowledged everybody he wanted to acknowledge. Saw them and was like, how y'all doing? Then he let them answer. Just kept walking. And they was like, excuse us?
Crazy kids.
And I was like, huh. He didn't even try to be cool. He just did that shit.
I want that.
I want to copy that so bad.
I want that for my son. And me and Bryce always laugh and have a talk about that. You know what I mean? Where I'd be like, yo, I forgot what I asked. So I said, yo, you still think I'm cool? He was like, you just dad. Or he said, yeah, you can't pull nothing. I said, nigga, what you mean I can't pull? I said, nigga, who you? Where you think you learn your game from? Y'all young boys don't know nothing about no game,
it's in him, and you don't know where he got it from.
You know, it's funny like that. That's funny. Madison, my niece, she's
a teenager now.
Yeah, so she's like, I take the word that kids use now is Riz.
Right. Okay.
Oh, Riz.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, Madison, Uncle Tony don't got no Riz. She's like, no. I'm like, Madison, I don't got Riz. Like, Uncle Tony, no.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Like, she don't see me at school. Like,
they don't get it.
Charleston young, so Charleston not even gonna know. Charleston like, by the time he's 20, y'all gonna be telling him stories. He's like, get the fuck out of here. My pops like, I'm telling you, your pops was the fucking man, yo. Yeah. Like, nah, I don't see it.
My pops was just, smell good, have nice cologne. Pops always had something like, I mean, I got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy this, get my little polo cologne or whatever I got. I got all sorts of stuff, man. I'd wake up right before I wake up. Pops get up and go to work early. He dip in my closet, put on a little something. I was like, man, that's my stash. What you on my shit for, man?
Good. Yeah, you had something good.
Yeah, man. See, always got. He's probably got 30,
things of cologne.
30 things of cologne. Which one you want to wear today?
Right now. I got
you still
mad cologne in my closet.
Oh, yeah?
I got like over 30 bottles of cologne.
I got like maybe 4.
I gotta step.
I gotta step my game up because like a lot of y'all have stuff and I'm like, yo, what's that?
I need more.
I really gotta step my game up.
Yeah, one bottle.
Roy got the hookup, man.
You got me. No, Roy do the knockoffs.
Yeah, I got
whatever he got.
He got some good stuff though. He got some good stuff, but I'm like, bro, I got the money. Like, just spend the money for the real thing.
I got you the Creed.
You got me the Creed.
Yeah, the Creed set, gift set. Yeah,
bro, that mad compliments.
Yeah,
mad compliments.
Yeah.
What's that? And I never tell people like, yo.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I don't.
But yo, listen. Yo, shout out to all the grown men out there.
Yeah.
That are inspiring the youth.
Yeah.
To be cool.
Yes.
You
To
ain't gotta
find
be
their own
street.
cool.
You ain't gotta be to find their own cool.
Find
Even
your
better,
own
Fox.
cool.
Even better.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be street. You ain't gotta be hood. You ain't gotta be gangster. You ain't gotta be.
You don't got to have up 1,000 girls.
Just inspire
Yeah.
the youth, the young black men, to find their own cool and walk in that and be cool with it. Because it's cool to be cool in your own skin.
Yep.
True.
Like we said last week, whatever
True.
your thing is, if you say this is
thing.
what I do, who can knock it if you truly, organically or that way? So
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
is watching all of
Yeah.
y'all saying, "I like that guy."
Yeah.
Yo,
I
I
wanna be
remember-
just like that guy.
I remember saying that. Grimy, I swear to everything. I remember saying that on my block one day. It was a dude who used to walk through the block, like all the young kids. Yo, what's up, man? How you doing? Yo, we playing football. Like, yo, throw the ball. He like, go, throw your pass. Or we playing basketball. He like, yo, you ain't got.
Let me get the
And
rock.
I'd be like, this dude, man, cool, man.
Yeah.
And then years later, came back to the block. I had moved off the block. Years later, came back. He was fucked up. He was on crack. He was dirty. And I'm like, damn, I used to think that nigga was so cool.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, I remember having that thought, like, yo, it's crazy that, the older guys are walking through the neighborhood. They have no idea what these little kids are thinking when they looking at them. Like, I used to watch them like, yo, this dude mad cool, yo.
Yeah.
Like, come to the block with something on, a sweatsuit on Easter Sunday. Like, yo, what's up? What y'all doing? Y'all balling? The big medallion on. He look like AZ back then. You know what I'm saying? The big, the Caesar wavy. Yo, what's up? We balling today? What we doing? Yo, let's go get something to eat. Like, I'm like, man, this kid's mad cool, yo.
That's it. It's like every hood got that person.
Oh yeah.
And that was my neighbor 2 doors down, man. Rest in peace to Joe. Man, this dude was, like you say, cool as shit.
Yeah.
He was, so dope, but he wasn't like no dangerous.
He was
a
dangerous
smooth
dude,
dude every day. Be out washing his car.
Box Monte Carlo.
Dress real nice.
Through.
Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just took care of himself. Yo, this nigga got mad chicks.
Yep.
He was just that dude. And then years down the line, before he passed away, he got hooked on this. You know what I mean? On this shit. When you around it and you doing it for so many years, as far as selling it, it's like
Sooner or
the
later.
chances.
It's right there.
It's right
It's
there.
getting closer and closer
Sometimes
to
it
you.
gets in your fingertips.
Yep.
So you
Some
already.
bloodstream.
Sometimes you do
Yeah.
this. And you're like, oh shit, that shit was on my hand.
man. I had hated. I hated because he was cool.
I remember one time, so funny. One night we was in DC, and I took I don't think you was there. I took Bryson and all his boys out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Chopper's birthday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Chopper's birthday, and we had yo, what we doing? They're like, what's up? Y'all rolling? Let's go. Took the young boys out. Got the big table.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, order whatever y'all want. I'm in the corner chilling. I think my guys that came down that weekend from New York. And I'm like the young boys got the table.
Yeah.
Like, they got the young girls.
I still got the picture.
Yeah,
They standing
Yeah,
up.
they got the table. They posted. I'm in the corner, and Chop like, yo, thanks, man. I go, yeah. I was like this. Yeah, yo, y'all have a good time. I said, yo, I'm the big homie, yo. I'm the big homie. He like, oh, we appreciate you, big homie. Bryce like, yo. I'm like, yo, y'all have a good night. And then one of my boys like, yeah, son, like you really big homie to them right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was what that was. In that moment, I realized like, yo, they looking at you like you cool, bro.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, let them have it. Like,
yeah.
let them have the night. Like, I'm gonna pay the bill and everything. Everybody gonna be good. But I'm like, yo, it's their night. Let them
And
live.
they'll never forget.
I know I know what that would have meant to me.
Mhm.
For me to be able to, I never did it. Not until we got older. But
Right.
if in like when I was like 16, like what was Chop like 22,
21, 22.
So when I was 21, if I was
23,
able to go to a club with Shabazz at 21, bro, that would have been everything to me.
Wow, yeah.
That would have been life.
And the crazy thing about that too, I've seen my son start to develop his coolness more
Son,
and
I
more.
told you
older.
the time we was there, and I said, "Yo, me and Bryce had a talk."
Yeah.
And I said, I felt like we bonded that
Yeah,
night. Remember I said that?
yeah.
He said something to me. It was me and him talking, just me and him. He said something to me, and I was like, "Damn, I feel like we just bonded just now. Like, I feel like we just got
That's
we
Uncle
cool,
Tone.
we
He
cool."
Uncle
But I was
Tone
like,
to
I
you.
feel like we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
really got cool just now.
You Uncle Tone to him.
Yeah,
He always got
yeah,
Uncle
that's what's
Tone.
up.
But I've seen him develop his own from his head. This how his
Yeah.
swag is
Yeah.
everything. And I'm like, yo, my son, I got a cool son.
Yeah.
You know what I
Super
mean?
cool, man. Shout out Bryce,
Yeah.
shout out the
It's
squad.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Them cats, I like
Oh,
them
yeah.
cats.
Yeah.
Grimy, let him know where you at.
Oh, Giant Grimes, Mr. Tan Panda.
Oh.
That's where I post all my shows at. Check me out soon.
Fox Boogie.
Yo, open mics. Shout out to Nika, Von DeCarlo, and Tequila Love and Jabari, man. We had a dope ass writing session at my open mic on Wednesdays. And next week, shout out to the Tampa people. We had a dope ass week. The week after next, Cleveland. Looking forward to that. I haven't been in Cleveland in a minute during the summertime. So Cleveland, Funny Bone.
Yo, this weekend, Toledo, Funny Bone.
Trench rap.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, Toledo Funny Bone this weekend, the 18th and the 19th. Happy Easter to everybody. Happy Resurrection Day. I hope you eat good, go to church, and give God glory. Peace.
I like that. Give God glory. I was trying to catch the kiddo before he went to sleep, but I think he probably sleep. Yeah, Toledo this weekend. Yo, busy week, man. Tonight I'm at the Upstairs.
Yeah, I've been
downtown
LA.
LA?
It's my first time performing there. Me and Guy Tori.
Yeah.
Guy Tori's still a sucker
sure.
for not giving me that contact info, but I'm gonna go do his room. Go do his show. The Upstairs tomorrow, the Factory. No, Upstairs tonight. Tomorrow, this Comedy Store. Thursday, the Factory. I gotta take Rube to dinner for his birthday. Rube said, "Yo, you gotta take me to dinner for my birthday." And nigga, I'm not bringing my wallet, so I gotta take Rube. Toledo. I was gonna go home Easter Sunday and surprise my mom's, but my mom's is back in South Carolina at the big house. I don't want to go to South Carolina because you got to fly somewhere, then fly somewhere, and all, too much. So I'll catch mommy next time. I might pop up on a Mother's Day and surprise her. But like Trey said, happy Easter Sunday to everybody that celebrates. Keep God first, get money, rock the world forever. Charleston, Dad, I love you very much. And lastly, I hope that we clarified some of the people that were in our classes in high school. We clarified, we gave you a little bit more clarity as to what we were talking about last week.
Right.
The people on the short bus and the people that don't read on the 6th grade reading level, you ain't never gonna get it. I'm gonna always be the asshole and the enemy, so I'm cool with that.
Right.
I don't care what you say about me because you talk about me and I'm not talking about you. All right, peace.
Peace. And we want all the smoke.
Get your thumbs ready.
Oh shit! Oh, I didn't say. Yo, are we still recording? Yo, yeah. Wait, sit up. And stay tuned for the interns freestyle coming up after the podcast show. Intern got some fire. Somebody sign him.
Yeah.
Sign him. Steve Rifkin, where you at?
That check just hit my phone, baby, don't talk to me. Second that I'm in my zone, baby, I'm hard to reach. My wallet close like a part of me. Got a couple O's, ooh, part of me. Through quantity, both coupe, new shoes on the feet. Who's stopping me? I wear Nike. But my bank just got a new balance. I don't drink unless it's through chalice. No show enough when asking who's baddest.